Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator, and I've got here a Carcano M1891 rifle. This one's dated 1918. I've also got some insight on these beloved, not really, rifles and carbines. I've also going to show you some of the range tests that I've done with 6.5 Carcano and give you some pro tips on how to find good Carcanos. So let's get right into it. All right, so first things first, I did some penetration testing on the 6.5 Carcanos bullets. Here's the results of 3 different 6.5 Carcano loads. The first one is by PPU. That would be the full metal jacket. And that clocked in at 2,155 feet per second. And it penetrated a lot. And the next 6.5 cartridge we tested was the Full Metal Jacket by Steinel Ammo, and that clocked in at 1,934 feet per second. It's kind of torpedoed off to the right. There we go. We got it. We caught that one too. How much was it?
31.
31. And the last one here we tested at penetration power was Steinel Ammo 6.5 brass round nose, and that one clocked in at 1,778 feet per second, and it penetrated 18 inches. All right, well, that gives me a good idea of how much they penetrated and what the power is behind these cartridges. So the next thing I wanted to do was test out all my carbines and rifles and figure out which ones were going to shoot the most accurate. And I came to conclude that the M1891 and this Cavalry carbine from that I got from Royal Tiger Imports recently, those two were the best shooting Carcanos out of my Carcano collection. To get an accurate representation of how these bullets were actually going on target and a steady seated stable position, this is no better place than the Talladega Marksmanship Park. I mean, it's a very sophisticated range. They use a Kongberg's electronic targeting system. I've been going there for many years, and for the most part, it's on point. Bam. All right, that was 3 in a row with the Carcano. We were shooting FMJ from Steinel Ammo. All right, and the next thing we tested out was the 6.5 brass round nose cartridges by Steinel Ammo. And just to let you know that this video is sponsored by Steinel Ammo. So yeah, go give their website a look if you're looking for those hard to find military surplus type cartridges. A brass round nose. Steinel Ammo at 100 yards.
But basically,
all right, 100 yards. That's kind of what we're dealing with. It's just going to be hard to ride it on in there. Now, if I can get consistent shots, that proves something, you know. All right, with Steinel Ammo, brass round nose, got 3 in a row in the black. Figured out where we're shooting at. Pretty much had to aim like right down here as my front sight post is. Of course, the V is sticking up a little higher, but the front sight post is like down here. Just like the M1891, we qualified here, so we can move on to the 200-yard range. Though we didn't have enough time to test out all the rifles that we had with us at 200 yards, I was able to test out the M1891 Carcano and the shot group, I did get a pretty good shot group there, and I was using Steinel Ammo FMJs. I had a pretty decent shot group with the Steinel Ammo FMJs, so I moved on to the 300-yard target. Tried my hand at some of the PPU rounds. It looks like the PPU rounds were not that great at those distances. It seemed to be a lot more inconsistent. It seemed like I was shooting a lot lower. Well, I spent a little bit of time to see if I could group PPU FMJs at 300 yards, and it just wasn't working, and we ran out of time. So next time I want to go to the range. I want to bring some more Steinel Ammo FMJs and see what it can do at 600 yards, because I'm pretty certain that those rounds are actually going to do really well. Even though the velocity is a little lower, it seems like those rounds are a lot more stable and they are on target a lot better. All right, let me give you guys some pro tips because you stuck around. So my first pro tip, if you're going to buy a Carcano, definitely check the bore. So let's see what we got here. All right, so you got an idea of what the lands and grooves look like. Bring a unfired 6.5 Carcano bullet with you and check the bore. If the barrel eats the bullet all the way, then you know there's a problem. If it stops right here where it starts to curve, then you should be good, theoretically. If you're buying online, make sure you do the hand select bore option, so that way you have the best chance of getting a pretty decent bore when that rifle comes into your FFL, or when you get it if you have a CNR license. You will then again use the bullet test, and if it's not to your liking, tell the FFL to ship it back. All right, another thing with the Carcanos is the clips don't work too well in all Carcanos. Not all clips are made equally. Not all Carcanos are made equally. So some Carcanos like some of the clips, from what I've noticed, and the best, it seems to be some of the surplus clips are best. I had a hard time trying to clear a jam, and it took me forever to clear it at the Talladega Marksmanship Park, which really wasted a lot of time. And the clips that I've had that have worked the best have been from surplus ammo. So I got this 7.35 surplus ammo from a friend of mine, and I pretty much just use the clips from them because they work really well. All right, remember how I said not all Carcanos are made equally? That also applies to each Carcano's point of aim. Now, depending on the ammo that you're using and depending on how the sights are lining up, that's what's going to determine your point of aim. So when you get these Carcanos, you have to figure out how to get the proper sight picture. So what I realized with the Carcano carbine is it's very short. It's a very short carbine. There's not a lot of distance between that V notch in the back and that front sight post that sticks up. And you're supposed to put that front sight post at those closer ranges, like 100 yards, right here. Well, sometimes you could be a little lower, sometimes you could be a little higher. What I found is that where the V kind of happens in the V notch, that's going to be the very top of the barrel there. That's going to sit right just underneath that, so that the front sight post is visible, but not the barrel. So pretty much the barrel is pretty much unexposed when I'm looking down the sights, and that's where I found my point of aim to be the best. And also that Cavalry carbine, man, that thing shoots a little high and a little bit to the right, and it's really annoying. But I know where it's hitting at, and I can remember where it's hitting at. And using the Talladega Marksmanship Park's electronic targeting system, it was very easy to determine where the point of aim is on that carbine. Now my M1891 is pretty much on point, and I also have a Carcano M735 that is also on point as well. So those Carcanos are accurate. And when you line up those sights, you just got to make sure that that front sight post sits lower in the V-notch at those closer ranges, because those Carcanos are kind of like buckhorn sights. Those sights on the Carcanos are kind of like buckhorn sights. You're going to aim a little bit lower to hit at a point of aim a little higher. Have you guys shot 6.5 Carcano recently? Have you used Steinel Ammo? In my opinion, Steinel Ammo seemed to be the best option here. The FMJ for the rifle and the brass round nose for the carbines. So definitely check out their website if you have a Carcano. Also, if you haven't, Be sure to pulverize the like button and subscribe for the algorithms. It really helps out with the channel. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.